A quote that's just stuck with me is, "And she believed she could, so she did."
So what I think we should do is create a vocal chop, just something people can use in like EDM songs or even pop songs of their own making, recording your voice and then just kind of playing with it in Ableton afterwards.
Cool.
Ooh, I let my hair out. Ooh, I guess my hair out. Ooh, something like that.
That's cool. I like that. Let's play with that.
Ooh,
I hear this being something like super tropical.
Yeah.
And like fun.
Yeah, just a little plucks.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to experiment in production. I think that's the only way production moves forward. And if you just kind of stick with the same methods, you end up being washed up. I'm sorry to put it that bluntly, but that is what happens. So for us, it's super, super important to always try new things. That's why Splice is so great, because we might discover some sounds that we would have never made. That's why in our pack, we also try to push boundaries the same way that we do in our songs. We didn't want there to be a feeling of, oh, well, you know, they kept their things secret from their tracks, but they made just this basic thing for the pack. Everything we did make since we've made it, we've been using it. Yeah, we literally use it because it's something that is our style.
These sounds we've created are applicable to any genre and will sound different. It's all about how you dress it up.
Yeah, let's start adding to it now. Little Altar Boy would be really lovely on this. And then let's actually add vocal processing as well. We definitely have some go-tos that we really enjoy. I would say for vocal processing and even some instrumental processing, funny enough, Vocal Synth is really, really cool. It's been one of the best plugins that have recently come out. I think adding some of the presets of Vocal Synth on a vocal, but turning the mix down a bit, like 15%, 20%, 30%, you know, play with it, and you can add maybe like a slightly kind of a distorted, filtered sound to a vocal, adds a bit of interest and texture to it. There's a lot that you can do with it that is fresh and really interesting.
That sounds really good. I'm just thinking like, we'll probably already do processed octaves on it.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking for a more natural like air on maybe the, like I could record like a,
yeah, that'd be really,
because we'll just do the process like
that'd be
processed
really,
octaves.
really lit. So let's see. Yeah,
that's cool.
that's really, really nice. I do really, really like that. A lot of what we do, I would say, is pretty holistic, kind of picking up on the energy and the vibe that the artist wants to create.
It is our job to pull out as much as we can and put it in this pile and then start to pick from it and go, okay, like we've got this story, like which one do you feel like writing today? Or, you know, reading that energy and being like, they're really sad, like they don't want to talk about how in love they were with their significant other 2 months ago because they're not feeling that today.
Yeah,
and that's super important.
That's so important. It is really hard to get a cut with somebody if you're pushing something on them and if you're not understanding them.
Yeah, and making it a collaborative thing. I think that sometimes, you know, artists to producers, there feels like there's a wall there, and you know, there shouldn't be.
Production is a really supportive role, and it can be tough to do that when you're looking out for yourself first. Your job is to look out for the artist from two very different perspectives. You're trying to give them something very successful. You're also trying to give them something that they love, which sometimes is hard.
You know, as producers, you're not going out there singing the song every night. They have to love it. So if they're not, like, don't be upset with them.
Definitely look for people to work with you that do have that nurturing, supportive attitude toward you. Let's add a little bit of a sidechain pump. Great plugin, one knob.
Get that pump.
Pumper, such a simple plugin, such a lovely plugin. All it does is just adds a bit of the sidechain effect. It's just great.
There was a man once who said, "Oh, I heard your production and I was just waiting for the man to like pop out from under the table because I didn't know you girls could do something like that." And you know, like while they meant it, you know, as a compliment,
yeah.
you know, to that we can compete as women, you know, against a predominantly male dominated industry. You know, it is still the idea of like, we're still having to come up and still having to prove people. And so I think moving forward, we're excited to inspire women to take this on.
You just have to really be dedicated and really dive in and be very committed.
If you believe that you can, you've already won half the battle.
So here's the before.
Ooh, I let my hair out. Ooh, I guess my hair out. Ooh,
It's so dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So and there's the final result.